Colston Hall is set to go where no classical concert has gone before, with spectacular space imagery screened alongside Holst's epic Planet Suite. But what is it about Holst's staggering masterpiece that continues to captivate us more than 100 years after it was written? How come this century-old piece, played on traditional orchestral instruments, still comes to mind when we think of today's advanced space technology? But Holst's interest in the planets of the solar system was, in fact, purely astrological. His portraits of each planet describe their characters rather than any scientific traits or behaviours. It's just that Holst's musical language instantly suggests Hollywood, the epic films of the golden age of cinema, and so the music conjures up the image of these awe-inspiring planets as much as their mythical standing. Mars is portrayed as the bringer of war. Premiered in 1918, its fierce hammering of the machine guns is obvious from the start, it would seem. The horrors of the Somme, Ypres and Passchendaele running deep within the music, and yet Holst wrote this movement in 1914, before a single shot of the First World War had even been fired. In Venus, Holst paints a picture of a peaceful unifier, and in Mercury a winged messenger with its scurrying back and forth. Holst's most famous movement, Jupiter, not only describes a planet bathed in happiness and abundance, as Holst himself said, but its ambition and scope seems to perfectly evoke the image of this towering, gargantuan mass of hydrogen and helium floating eternally in space. Saturn, the bringer of old age, brings us from despondency through to horror, then calm, resignation and acceptance. Holst's Uranus paints the picture of a bumbling magician, and the final movement, Neptune, has strange ethereal dissonances, and Holst's masterstroke, a wordless chorus of female voices fading to nothing at the end, pointing to the boundlessness of our universe. But then, as we now know, Holst didn't really mean that. Here's Jonathan James to take a closer look at just how Holst depicts the characters of each planet.
If you were to ask people what their favourite planet is from Holst's Planet Suite, I think they'd probably say Jupiter. You might know it from the Rugby World Cup. It makes for a great anthem, doesn't it? However, the composer's own favourite was Saturn, the bringer of old age. And it starts with these marvellous two chords. Just spinning like a planet turning on its own axis. And often when Holst wants to convey this sense of stillness and eeriness, he just alternates between two chords. If you take the beginning of Neptune, for example, you have this. Just going between. So there's so much that is deceptively simple about this suite. For example, if you take Venus, the bringer of peace, there's this wonderful bit where you just have a rocking accompaniment like that and a shining tune over the top. So, although people will probably remember the Planet Suite more for Jupiter or Mars, don't forget that there are these wonderful, soft and mysterious moments to look forward to as well.